Hi and welcome back to my channel, Movement with Liz. My name is Liz and I don't know if you can see her, but we've got Aria dog just in front. You may hear her snoring throughout the practice today. We're going to do a short yin yoga practice with some acupressure at the beginning. I've got two blocks here. You could use two blocks if you've got them, just for a couple of the shapes that we're going to be doing. Could also use a bolster or some cushions or pillows or even folded up blankets. So just make sure that you've got something there for you to use. So we're going to begin with the acupressure points, and these points are really great for bringing ourselves back into emotional balance or allowing ourselves to find emotional balance. The really cool thing is you can do this on yourself anytime, and you can even help family and friends do it for them or show them how to do it themselves. So we're going to begin with kidney 27, and that is a point, if you find your collarbone and your first rib, it's between the collarbone and the first rib, just off the sternum. So we're going to do one side first. Just pick a side, any side, because we will do the other side next. So finding the collarbone, find the first rib, and then find there's a little, you'll sort of feel a little divot between the two. It's in there and just off the sternum. So just getting the index finger or the middle finger and just start to gently, maybe some circular motion or even sort of side to side. Might feel tender or might kind of feel sensations as you press. As you're doing this, it's breathing nice and smoothly. And we'll do the other side. So again, finding the collarbone, finding the first rib. So come down underneath the collarbone there. Might feel different from side to side. You don't need to press super hard and cause yourself lots of pain. So if it is a little bit tender, less is more. So ease your way into it. Some light pressure, light circles, making sure you're breathing nice and smoothly. And we'll move into lung 1. So it's along the same line, out further towards the shoulder. So if you draw a line from where you were on kidney 27, draw a line out to the edge, and you'll kind of feel a little bit of like a divot. You want to sort of come up a little bit from that. And again, you might find a spot that feels there's some sensation there, might feel different to the other areas that you're pressing on. Again, some gentle pressure. We don't have to be pressing super hard. If you need some support for the arm, just resting the elbow into the other hand. And then moving to the other side. So finding that same line out. Just know that it's pretty normal to feel a little bit different from side to side. We're not completely symmetrical. Breathing nice and smoothly in and out of the nose. And moving on to gallbladder 21. That's on top of the shoulder, about halfway. So you may find that it feels hard or it feels tender. So getting the 3 fingers, so our index, middle, and our ring finger, and just finding on top of the shoulder, about halfway down. And you might find a spot, it might feel tender, it might not. Again, just some light pressure. Gently massaging, go side to side or around. You can even hold the pressure down for some time. Take a few deep breaths in and out. Moving on to the triple warmer point. So we're going to stay on the same side. It's in the same line, but we're going to move back over just above the shoulder blade. So keeping in that same line, move the fingers over to the back, or just turn around. You can get a little bit of an idea. You'll feel a little kind of divot above the shoulder blade. And again, those 3 fingers, just some gentle pressure. It might feel tender depending on what's going on in your system, depending on what kind of physical activity you've been doing or lack of physical activity, depending on what's going on in your mind. Let's move on to the other side. So gallbladder 21, it's above that line on top of the shoulder. So those 3 fingers about halfway. Easing your way into it. And then moving on to the triple warmer point. So that same line coming back over towards the top of the shoulder blade. You may find that you naturally start to relax a little bit after going through some of these points. Releasing that. Give the shoulders a little bit of a roll. We're going to do 2 more points. Coming down into the arm, pericardium 3. So you're going to bend through your elbow, and then there's a line here. So just at the end of that point there that you can find on yourself, that's pericardium 3. Lengthen the arm back out and just start to gently rub. You can use the thumb, you can use the middle and index fingers. Just being gentle, you don't have to cause yourself any pain. Being sure to breathe. You can make this a daily practice for yourself. Spend as little or as long as the time that you've got. Moving on to pericardium 6. So we've got 2 tendons there down near the wrist. The way I find it is bending through my other index finger. I bring the kind of second knuckle bit to the end of the wrist there, and then lengthen the finger out, and you can see there where that index finger ends. I'm going to press down into there. That's my pericardium 6. It's a great way to find it on yourself between the 2 tendons that you can see there on yourself. So again, just some gentle pressure down. This one can be quite a tender one for some. Again, depending on what you've been doing, depending on what's going on in your system. Breathing through it. So the protector of the heart, pericardium. And we'll move into the other side, pericardium 3, bending through the elbow, finding that line on yourself, lengthen the arm back out, and then gently massaging around. Again, you might find one side feels quite different to the other. Slowly release that, coming down into pericardium 6. So again, finding it with the other index finger, bring that second knuckle down to the wrist area, and then lengthen the rest of the finger out. And then you've found pericardium 6, making sure you're between the 2 tendons there. I know my right side felt quite different to my left. A bit more sensation on the right side. Gently release. Just take a little moment. Maybe roll out the wrists, roll out the shoulders. Any kind of movement that you feel the body needs. Just take a little check-in with yourself. Hopefully feeling nice and calm. We're we're going to move into our first yin shape. It's going to be butterfly. So if you are sitting on some support, make your way off it, coming down onto your buttocks, bringing the feet out in front. And just let the knees drop down if you need some support underneath the knees, adding either cushions or blocks. Option is to stay seated, or you can fold forward. So if you're going to fold forward, take a nice deep breath in. Breathing out, fold the upper body forward. It's coming down to that first point of tension, or that first kind of sign of resistance. Yin is not about forcing your body into a shape. We find that first little sign of resistance and we stay there. You may get the invitation to go deeper, you may not. If you need some support underneath the head, bringing a block or a cushion. If it feels okay for the neck and the spine, you can let the head just hang. And I'm not going to say too much as we hold the shapes. So finding that position that allows you to relax. You're able to breathe nice and smoothly. You can feel some sensation within your body, within your system. It's not too much. It's not too little. And just let yourself focus. Focus on the breathing, focus on the sensations. You may get that invitation by the breath to go deeper into the shape. We'll be here for a few minutes. See if you can relax a little bit more into the shape. If you're holding any tension in the shoulders, in the face, in the hips, using the breath, just allowing everything to let go. Take 5 more breaths. Once you've taken those 5 breaths, very gently press yourself out of the shape. It's taking your time, there's no rush. Take any kind of movement that you feel you need. Might feel nice to lengthen the legs out and give them a little wriggle. Might feel nice to bend the knees and windshield wiper them from side to side. For the next shape, you will need some kind of support. So I'll be using 2 blocks. You could use a bolster, cushions from the couch or your bed. We're going to be moving into supported fish. So with the blocks, you can either have it on the lowest setting, and you want to line it up so the block sits between the shoulder blade area, and then you've got something to rest the head on. You can let the head drop back if that feels okay for you. I'm going to be letting my head rest onto the blocks. Or you can come up onto the second setting, which is going to be a little bit more intense. I'm going to be going on the second setting, lining this up between the shoulder blades. Head will be resting here, and you'll get a really nice opening through the thoracic spine, through the front side of the body. So just take your time lining that up. You'll find a spot where the block just kind of sits nicely. It doesn't dig into any area and make it uncomfortable. And then maneuver the head piece around. So we want to be able to relax as much as we can into our yin shapes. There's this little effort from your muscular system and your skeletal system. But there's a lot happening as we hold these shapes, and we want to find that position so we can relax as much as we can. It doesn't mean it's going to be super comfortable, but we don't want it to be kind of causing us any pain or super discomfort that we can't relax and hold the shape. So you can see I've got my knees bent. I'm going to start to lengthen my legs out. You can even reach the arms out to the side if that feels good. If you're lying over a bolster or a pillow, you'll have the bolster kind of underneath in line with the shoulder blades, rolling the body over the support. Once you've found the spot that you can relax in, you hold it, you breathe, and just explore the sensations, explore the body and what's happening. Keep on checking in with yourself. Are you relaxed as much as you can? Breathe nice and smoothly. Keep that focus on your inner domain. Are there any areas of the body that you can let relax more? Take 5 more breaths. Take your time making your way out of the shape. You can bend the knees again if you need to. You're on the blocks, just slowly roll yourself up and off. Any kind of movement that feels good, just move the blocks to the side. On down to the back, maybe reverse that curve through the spine, hugging the knees in towards the chest. And just do whatever feels good in your body. You want to learn to listen, because the body will tell you what it needs. For our last shape, you'll need either a block or a bolster or a cushion or even a folded up blanket. We're moving into supported bridge. So bring the feet down to the floor, bending the knees. You're going to lift the hips up, take the support, placing it underneath your hips, generally around where the sacrum is, that flat triangle bony part at the bottom of the spine. Find a spot that you can fully relax into. Let's make sure the shoulders are away from the ears. So a couple of different options for this one. You can stay with the knees bent, or you can start to lengthen the legs out. If you are using a block, you can see here I'm on the lowest level. You can bring that up to the second level if that feels okay for your body. Just find the right spot, the sweet spot. And again, keeping the knees bent as they are, or one by one, lengthen them out. Just kind of test the waters, see how that feels. Can you relax? Can you breathe? That's the biggest teller of if the shape is right for you. If you've gone too far, you won't be able to breathe smoothly. You won't be able to relax. You'll be gripping and engaging lots of muscles. So be honest with yourself. Be willing to negotiate with yourself. And then another option is to bring the arms up overhead. Don't know if you can hear Aria snoring.
Find a nice smooth rhythm of your breath. Check in with the body, making sure it's as relaxed as you can get it. Keep that focus on the breath. Explore those sensations. If you've allowed tension to creep back into any areas of the body, maybe it's the shoulders, maybe it's the muscles around the eyes, the jaw. Take a few deep breaths in and out. Just allow yourself to let that go. Take 5 more breaths. Once you've taken those 5 breaths, if the legs were lengthened out, one by one, bring the feet back down to the floor, bring the arms back down if they were overhead. Very slowly lift yourself off the supports, removing it to the side. Let the body come back down to the mat. Hug the knees in towards the chest, just reversing that curve through the spine. Before we go into our resting pose, we're going to do one more acupressure point. You can do both sides at the same time. It's bladder 20. It's at the back of your skull. Just bring your thumbs just around behind the head and on either side of the cervical spine, right up the top underneath your skull, you'll feel kind of two little divots on either side. So I just sit up. So kind of from here, they're around about there on either side. So just as you lay back there, bring the thumbs to those points, just rest the head down into the hands. Start to gently add some pressure into those points. You can massage around with the thumbs, maybe move the head up and down, kind of like you're nodding yes, maybe a little bit of no from side to side. You can even just hold the pressure there, breathing nice and smoothly. There's so much that we can do for ourselves to benefit our health, physical, mental, emotional health. Just releasing those points. Just let yourself relax down onto the mat. We'll spend a few moments here letting that practice take hold. Start to bring some awareness back into your body. Wriggle the fingers, wriggle the toes. Maybe take a nice big stretch overhead. So that was a short yin yoga practice. I hope you enjoyed it. Let's make your way back up to a seated position. It's a really nice way to relax the body and mind. So just to go over those acupressure points again. Kidney 27 between the first rib and the collarbone, just off the sternum. Lung 1 along that same line out to the side towards the shoulder, coming up into gallbladder 21, which sits right on top of the shoulder in the middle. The same line moving back to that little kind of divot, the triple warmer. And then the last one that we just did was bladder 20, that's up around behind the head. And then we had pericardium 3, which is in that line there. If you're bending through the elbow, kind of creates a little crease. And then pericardium 6, which is between the two tendons in the wrist. So thank you very much for joining me. If you have any questions, please reach out. Hit the like, hit the subscribe button so more people can see this channel. Thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next video.